Alright, I'm back from MrHeavyChevy's down there in, well, let's see, what state is it? It's North Carolina. Anyhow, as you know, if you watch his channel, you know that I was there yesterday. And no, this is not the same shirt as I was wearing yesterday as I watched the video 5 minutes ago. I thought, shit, I put the same color shirt on today. But anyway, doesn't matter. It's a One Lonely Farmer shirt, so it's always stylish. You can get that at onelonleyfarmer.com. But here's the bad boy at home. And I'm about ready to get it off of here. If you guys are ever going to haul an engine, you know, just to haul an engine, get yourself a good wagon tire. I'd have preferred not a brand new wagon tire like Timothy threw in there for me, but you know what? Whatever. It did the job. And this little flathead Ford would fit right down in there. Perfect. I see there's a little bit of a broken off bolt in there. I think I want a refund, but not really. Because that's all the fun about these things. You can, you know, take a little time, tear that out of there, and get the right part in it. So anyway, yeah, here it is. Now I'm going to get her unloaded. Yeah. I'm actually quite excited about this this flathead. If you didn't know, I tried to get Mr. 63 Impala two-door to find me one up there in Washington State, and he had informed me that, you know what, that is almost impossible to do because they all pretty well they were all pretty well froze up and broke years ago. So yeah, this is rather interesting, you know. Yeah, most people probably have never even looked inside of a flathead Ford V8, but you're going to take a look in here right now, and it looks to me like your friendly neighborhood mouse has been in there a few thousand times. Did have some water in there, but yeah, she's going to need some serious cleaning, big time. It is locked up. Don't get me wrong. It was not purchased as a running V8. It was purchased as a locked up V8, which, you know, for me isn't really that big of a deal. But I'm quite excited because I actually got to see the gearbox too, and as it so proudly puked all over the backside of my truck, I would call that rust prevention, you know, but some people would call it a mess. This little transformation here, which is awesome, because even though it may not have the, oh, it does have the throw-out bearings. There's something missing there, though. I think there's a collar that goes over the top of that. I may have that in here. I don't know. I got a box of goodies too. I hope nobody's missing their scary movie mask. I thought that was pretty funny. Let's see. I highly doubt that this is a synchronizer to something. It might have the same spline to it though, which it does not. Yeah, so I actually got the gearbox too, which I'm thrilled about. Really thrilled about. Because they're, you know, these things go to the scrap heap a lot. And it's a shame, but, you know, people do strange things with, you know, when they're desperate for money, they just junk the things that they think are junk, and actually, ooh, something happened. Uh-oh. 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 Oh, what the heck? Hyperextended the little bastard. Let me see. Oh, yeah, it tries to bite you, too. I don't think that's greasable. Yeah, but the mice had really put that in there. Anyway, you're probably wondering why I didn't have any video of Mr., Mrs., Little Mr., and Little Miss Heavy Chevy on my video. Well, you know, I thought about it before I went down there. I thought, you know what, I'd love to have video with these guys, and, you know, these people are great people, by the way. I mean, second to none. Better than I expected. Blown away, actually. Very nice people. Good YouTubers, got a good level head on their shoulders, love their family, their kids are great. Very respectful. The kids were, I wish my kids were that respectful, to be quite honest with you. But anyway, yeah, I didn't video in a shop because, well, I guess when somebody comes to my place, I don't allow them to video in here. And I just kind of, for a couple of reasons, because if somebody's in here and they videotape and something goes missing, I'd be like, you know what? That son of a bitch came down here and videotaped, and now I'm missing all my hammers and my vice grips, and that really cool thing that I showed him is now missing, and you know, just because it was on videotape could be gone. So I just opted out of that. You know, it was great. It was great. If you want to see a guest appearance of down at Mr. Heavy Chevy's place, just check out Mr. Heavy Chevy on YouTube and check out his stuff. He's a really cool guy. Got really cool Chevy stuff. I'm not a Chevy guy. I'm a Ford guy, obviously. I mean, everything I own is Ford. There is a general mess of crap over there, but yeah, I like the Fords. And yeah, I got to ride in this Firebird, which was really pretty awesome. Yeah, I'd do that again. That thing was unbelievably powerful. I was rather shocked. I was rather surprised. I've never been in a Firebird or a Trans Am, but I drove that Boss 302, and that was a snappy car. So, but anyway, yeah, I guess that's about it. I don't need to talk too much more about anything other than I'm very, very tired, and I need to get this off of here because hopefully we get some rain. We have had a month with no rain, and I'm a little bit discouraged right now. Rumor is that this engine was actually overhauled before it was parked in the shop there, and then it seized from moisture getting in it, probably from mouse piss. So it's going to take a little bit to unseize the bad boy, but other than that, I got a whole host of parts in here. I mean, there's fuel pump, there's just all kinds of stuff in there. Of course, the manifold, which I'm not sure whether I'm just going to pull those heads off and get myself some aluminum Edelbrocks or whatever when I do rebuild this engine. You're probably wondering what I'm going to stick it in. Well, I got a 31 Model A that this thing would slide right in there, and it would look just sweet as sweet could be sitting between those frame rails in there. And it would be a real sleeper car too, because that motor, they produce about twice as much as what the little 4-cylinder that's in it does. So I'm thinking I'm going to do that, but I'm not 100% sure. I have the transmission to do it. But okay, so I've decided to do some exploratory surgery before I even take this thing off of this truck. Well, I don't know what the hell that was, but this thing came off there a whole lot easier yesterday. Okay. I can tell you right now, this thing I do not believe has ever ran. It's got high-rise pistons in it. They're not flat toppers. Look at those. I've seen these engines before. These are not your standard. They've actually been honed inside. You can see where the top of the piston was, but there's full of there's been water down in it. Kind of sick to see that happen to them, but yeah, what are you gonna do? You know, you can't have perfect engines all the time, right? So anyway, I don't know why, but that looks like it got hot and actually melted the cast iron. I don't know whether this is a common thing with the Ford Flathead or this particular model in the Ford Flathead, but I don't think I've seen this before on hot motors. But I don't know. These are domed pistons. They're not your average everyday flat top piston like Ford would normally put in there. So I'd have to actually do some research on this. But this is 5, 6, 7, and 8. I don't know what their firing order is, but damn. So anyways, I pulled this head off of here. Yeah. I don't know if that's the year that they're stamping in them right here. It says 8/27/46. But I don't know. This motor, I don't even know what model motor this is, to be honest with you. I'm going to have to go do some research. That says 68 6050B. And that fits on there just fine. There's a stud missing. But what I'm going to do is that I'm actually just going to dump that Lucas oil or that Marvel's Mystery oil right down in here. This piston isn't going to get anything, but you know, it's not going to get anything. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to dump that in there, and let me get the other head off first, and we'll see what happens over the next few weeks. you know, over the next few weeks. And Marvel's Mystery Oil, I am a fan of Marvel's Mystery Oil. I know some people are not. I know that MrHeavyChevy said that he put it in one of his cars and it started to tick, and after that it never stopped. So I would say that he's not a fan of the Marvel's Mystery Oil. But look at all this. This is all Never Sees. So this got Never Sees all over it, and the head gaskets are all covered in Never Sees. So, and the pistons have been coated with Never Sees. So I think this motor was actually rebuilt and then just sat in here, sat in a garage someplace, and then eventually, you know, MrHeavyChevy got his hands on it and sold it to me. But anyways, let me get that other head off of there. Okay, so this is a different head altogether, and it's still, this head has been planed. It is nice and shiny. You can see where it was milled. And if you look at these valves, if you look at those valves, they're just like perfect, brand new, clean, not a bit of carbon on them. Here's an oddball one, which I don't know why that's in there, but it is. Possibly, I don't know, possibly it's, well, there's a couple of them here too. This one has been used, I think. No, that's just discoloration. Yeah, so I think this motor's been overhauled. I think we're pretty much on the same page. But this head here does not have Ford script on it, which is kind of weird. And I'm pretty sure that Ford put their script all over everything. Yeah, 6046B. This could be from a different engine. I don't know. Probably. I think that's the original color on the engine. That's what they're supposed to be, because if you look at this block's been cooked, though. You can tell it's just not, there's no paint on it at all. So it probably was a rebuild that somebody threw in a shop and died, or threw in a shop and forgot about, or whatever, you know, or did a half-ass rebuild. But we won't know until I get it up on an engine stand and get it all apart. So the valves are open here, and there is rust in there, but it's not. I've seen valves before, and the seats have carbon just all built along the edges, and there's none of that in there. The water jackets do have some gunge down in there, but I think all in all it'll be just fine. And you can see that it was honed. You know, of course, it was honed and then put in there. There is a slight little lip there. I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe I'll pull it all apart and just re-hone it and slap everything back together. Who knows? We'll find out and get that Marvels in there. Honestly, I believe that head is an aftermarket, because why would Ford build an engine without putting their script on there, unless it's a Mercury head or something like that? But I don't think so. I think this is an aftermarket head on this particular one. A lot of companies made them, or still make them. 7/12/44. I think that's a date, to be quite honest with you. But anyways, this is a 68-6049B, and the actual Ford head, the Ford head is a 68-6050B. So you got a 49B and a 50B. This is probably a right head, and that's a left head. You know, but right here, Ford USA. So I got the Marvel's Mystery Oil in there, and that's just one of those things you're going to let it soak away for eternity. There's no need to even mess with it at this time, but I am probably 99.999% chance that this is going to go up on an engine stand, and I'm going to wheel it over here, and on rainy days, which I'm hoping today is one of them because we haven't had rain in a month, I will actually just tear that motor down and clean it up, hone it out, and rebuild it. Maybe even use the original parts that are in it, because I got a feeling they're all new. They just need to be cleaned up and put back in. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. That engine's out of that M. Not an MD, it's an M, because I didn't actually tear apart an MD.